Hello, my friends. In our last lesson, we learned the basic HTML tags that we'll use frequently. Now, in this section, we're going to delve in a little deeper and we're going to start to enrich our site visually. So today we're going to talk about images and attributes. So let's give it a shot. So images, probably the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about the visual media. So let's start with that and let's see how to add some images first. So the IMG or image tag is used to add an image into HTML documents. The image tag is not a closed tag, so we don't write /image at the end of this tag. There are two required attributes for the image tag. The SRC attribute, that's used to specify the image to add. So here we'll come across two different situations. So if the image to be added is in the same directory as our HTML file, we only need to write the name of the image file with the extension. Now, in the second case, if the picture to be added is a picture somewhere out on the internet, we're going to need to write the link of this picture here. All right, so consolidating all of that, we also have to write the same again in the application. So we add text that defines the image that we have added with our alt attribute. So, why do we have to add descriptive text to an image? Well, I'll give you a couple of reasons for it. First is to allow search engines to understand what our image is about. The other reason is that if users can't view the image, well, there's information for them. So why wouldn't users be able to see the image? Well, most common reasons for this are, slow internet. Some people are actually still using dial-up, and that's okay. Another one is an error in the source attribute or a user using a screen reader, and many others. But for now, that's good. So let's have a little review about what we've already talked about. The most basic form of the image tag, remember that from the beginning of the lesson. We open the image tag and then typed SRC and the alt attributes between them. Now, of course, there are many more attributes that we can write, and we're going to see some of those in practice soon, but some of them, in fact, in our CSS course. So let's just cut to the chase and get to having some fun. So for this, let's open up our program, Atom, and now we can create a new HTML file inside the practice folder. Then we first write HTML and press the Tab key to create the basic HTML structure. And for this, we can write practice 2 as our title. All right, so let's get into the body and we'll start adding our image. So we'll start with just a picture from our computer. For example, let's let our concept be of the world, right? So for this, I happen to have a beautiful picture of the world on my computer. Now I'm going to create a new folder named Pictures in the project folder and put our picture in this folder. Okay, so because of that, our picture is now ready. So it's time to add it into our HTML file. And as you may remember, we add the image tag and then our SRC and alt attributes between. Now, in the SRC attribute, we'll write world.jpg and write world as alt attribute. All right, so our HTML file looks ready, doesn't it? And if that's right, then let's save it and run it. Whoa, where's our world? No world. Oh, but look, at least we see this. Okay, so sometimes users can't see the image that we've added. They would see the descriptive text that we wrote into the alt attribute. And that's why we do it. Now, why didn't we see the picture? Well, because the image that we added with our HTML file is not in the same directory. So, in order to correct this error, we'll just need to correctly write the directory where our image is located. So let's now go to the application and say that our image is under Pictures, and that's the folder. So let's save it and try it again. And there is our beautiful world. So now let's talk about some of these other common attributes. The first two of these attributes are width and height. And of course, as you may have been able to guess, we can adjust the aspect ratio of our image with these attributes. For example, let's reduce our beautiful world a little and first look at the current dimensions of the world. So to do this, we're going to go to our picture and right-click and click on the features. Going to the Details tab, and yep, sure enough, it's here. Now, the size of this image is 1600 by 900 pixels. The most important thing to consider when playing with the dimensions of the pictures is to stick to the original aspect ratio. For example, if we want to reduce this picture, we can make it 800 by 450 pixels. In other words, the width and the length of the image will reduce at the same rate. So let's do that. And then we write these attributes like SRC and Alt on our other two attributes. And then we save it and we can see the result. And there it is. Our world is getting smaller. It's shrunk. But here we have reduced both values by half to ensure that the aspect ratio does not deteriorate. So what if we want to take our picture to a ratio that we can't calculate the aspect ratio so simply in our head? So in this case, we would set the width to the desired value and don't enter any value for the height. Excellent. So now another attribute is the title. Of course, this title is not the title tag that we saw before. This is the title attribute. So in this attribute, when the image is hovered over in the browser, a bubble appears with whatever we want to write. So for example, when you hover over our image, let the world, and we can write other attributes and write the world into it, save and refresh our page, and there you see that the bubble comes out when we hover our mouse over it. So that's enough for now, don't you think? We've pretty much learned how to add an image to the HTML page and make some basic adjustments. And we started the attributes and looked at some of the attributes that we use to add an image. So goodbye for now, but I do want to see you in the next lesson. So review what you need to, and we'll carry on because we're going to learn how to use the HTML list.